Alright, this is take 2 on the French combat phase. I did record this before, but I had the wrong settings in my recording software and the microphone. I wasn't recording what I was saying. So I do have the die rolls from that time, so I'm just going to apply them instead of actually rolling the die. So we'll get the same results. But let's start off. We're in the French combat phase now. Let's pull over the sequence of play here so we see what we've done. We've already done the command phase, and we did the movement phase. And we did see the French were able to move Ney, activated Rayleigh, and the second corps units, along with one of the cavalry units from the second cavalry corps, because Kellerman apparently is still finishing his breakfast, and these units are stuck back here, out of command. And then Ney and Riley moved up somewhat aggressively, straight up the road. They're catching this leader alone in a chateau, and we'll apply those rules in a second. And the cavalry here was able to circle around. I could have charged if I had come this way, but I think it's better that it's around the unit, making retreat, well, ensuring that if it retreats, it's eliminated or at least taken off the board. And we'll see the two choices there. So coming out of this, we've got two attacks. We've got the big attack here, and then we have these infantry units trying to push across what I'm hoping is a stream. It looks like it. I think a river in some sense would be a darker blue. Although they do make this kind of tough. You know, when I looked at the terrain effects chart over here, again, I'll look at this. You see how the river seems to be darker and a black outline while a stream is lighter, so this does appear to be a stream. So we'll do those modifiers. So the first thing we have to deal with, we're coming into the combat phase, but before we actually do that, we do have to deal with, had this up, leader capture displacement. So this leader, and again, I can't pronounce these people's names, Perpuncher, I believe, is all alone in a chateau. Not a good place to be when you've got a bunch of French brigades, I think, coming up the road. So he finds himself in the zone of control here. And what you do, a leader alone is subject to capture whenever adjacent to an enemy combat exerts a ZOC. And you roll on this. I'm not going to roll because, interestingly enough, the roll I got was a 6. Which from our point of view is good because now we're testing the rules. This is a corps commander. It's not a leader. Doesn't have the bracketed command number. So if a corps officer is captured, place his counter on the turn track 2 turns into the future. And then he's in a replacement mode. We'll see that on the flip side. So if I find the turn track here, I thought I had that up. Yep, there we go. Here's our turn track. So we're going to take this second Netherlands, looks like corps, and put him here. And I believe, the reverse side shows him at a -1. Here he's got a 3 initiative. See that there? And they do say in the rules he's got to be 1 less now, so his replacement doesn't have as much initiative. But he's also not on the board. So, not a good thing for the coalition. All right. So then we move on to this attack here, and we analyze it. He's in the clear, so there are no modifiers for that. And then I've got 5 over here, and I've got 11. That gets us to 16, just enough for a 4-to-1. But wait, there's more. If we come down to the combat rules, we'll see under modifiers, there's no terrain modifiers, but the attacker only may gain a +1 column shift if has infantry, artillery, and cavalry all participating in the same attack. Again, that's what we do. We have artillery, cavalry, and we have infantry and cavalry here. So the 4-to-1 becomes a 5-to-1. Okay, and I already have the combat results for that. When I rolled on the 5-to-1 table, it was a 2. So the defender is eliminated, all right? But you have to figure out where to place the eliminated unit. Here it is. And I did find the rule before. This is kind of annoying here. If you get a DE result, but it can retreat, let's see. Yeah, this is talking about it here, but let me find the one with a DE result. Hold on a second. Yeah, just a little further down, we see in 12.5, anytime a full strength combat unit is eliminated due to a AE, DE, or EX, owning player must determine if it could retreat at least one hex without going to a prohibited terrain or enemy occupied. Notice if it's blocked by an enemy zone of control, it's placed in the awaiting recovery, as opposed to permanently eliminated here. Okay, so it's not a permanently eliminated, it's placed in awaiting recovery. This scenario isn't long enough to, potentially have an effect, but I'm trying to follow the rules here anyhow. So he's placed, and the next question we have to ask is advanced after combat. Looking at those rules, one infantry unit plus all cavalry may advance if no leader is present. If a leader is present, all undemoralized infantry and cavalry may advance. Well, cavalry unit could advance in here if they want, but I don't, because he's in a nice position to flank the right side of the coalition line potentially next turn. So he's going to stay there. And I don't see any positional advantage in advancing these units over here, any of these units over here, because the advance is coming up the road here. So this is perfectly fine, and it kind of puts us in a position to kind of screen against this. So don't see any advantage for either of these units to advance after combat. So they're going to stay where they are. So that combat's resolved. Then the next combat we have is here. 5 and 5 is 10, 11 to 2. Now normally that would be a 5 to 1, but attacking across a stream here. So let's look at the chart for streams. This is effects on combat. So we have the stream here, and the defender is 1.5. So that takes it to 3. We've got 11. That rounds down to a 3 to 1. So we come over to or we scroll down to the combat table. We are on the 3 to 1. And another, just so we get to exercise the rules, and this has really happened, roll to 6. Okay. So that puts us on the shock table. All right. So we come down here, and basically you take the highest initiative, and then roll a dice, and potentially, depending on 1 or 2, 0, 3. This is what you add, and then you cross-index. Now there is one joker in the mix here. If we find the shock rules, sorry, I don't. Looks like they put this at they put that at the end of the. So bear with me as I find the shock rules. Here we go. And it's when artillery is alone in the hex, right here. Disregard its initiative rating and use a 1. Okay. So when I rolled, the French rolled a 1. So their highest initiative unit is a 3. And that's what their number is going to be on the shock table. They don't add anything to it because they rolled a 1. The coalition rolled a 4. So they got a +1. So 1, because it's artillery alone, +1 is 2. So we see the attacker is at 3. The defender is at 2. It's a straight DR. Okay. And the artillery falls back here. And there's no leader present, and no cavalry. So only one unit can advance, and that'll be that unit. Okay. So that takes us, that's all the French combat here now. And it was good. We got to learn some Got to see the combined arms modifier in action over here. Got to see the shock table, or the shock combat, yeah, shock table in action over here. So we're kind of pushing the rules. Yeah, we got to see the Corps Commander captured and replacement rules in action here. So again, the goal of this game, I'm not necessarily going to do the greatest strategy, but it is to exercise the rules and get familiar with the system here. And now if we look at the sequence of play, yeah, we're at the beginning of now the coalition turn. And the first thing they're going to do is a command phase. And I'm going to save that for the next video because we're right at 11 minutes, and that's a good bite-sized chunk for this. I see this, a lot of recorders do that. But we do see looking here, this unit actually, wow, could slide up into this hex because the French didn't take it, and that's a chateau, and infantry and chateau are doubled. That would be a powerful position. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 2 commanders here, so they are in command range, and wow, Wellington is loaded to bear when it comes to command points. Look at that, 4 of them. I think Napoleon only has 3. I'd have to look that up. So he's going to be able to put this unit in command. I'm thinking this one may have to roll for initiative. But 1, 2, 3, or 4. And so we'll see. All right, so great. Good exercise of the combat rules and referring to the rules here to back it up. I like it when I can find the rules when I do stuff. So we'll end it here at almost 12 minutes, and we'll see you back here for the next one, the coalition movement phase. We'll see how far we get if we roll into any combat too. So thanks for watching.